So we were talking of Huawei earlier, and guess their competitor is Apple is one, and obviously many around the world are Apple users here, right? And what's good about them is they provide brand awareness, the premiumness, the cachet of having an Apple product. Uh, Also, it comes with a downside of caveat of in terms of of its pricing, in terms of how it markets its product and so forth. And one of the companies, not companies, one of the countries who's trying to protect the interests of consumers, everyday consumers, or everyone, consumers who buys their product, is forcing Apple to list down with a French law that you have to indicate the repairability score of your iPhone products and your MacBook products as well. So let's see here. So here in this article, according to Verge, so Apple is forced to indicate or add in their description in terms of repairability scores to comply with French law. Now, obviously, what is this repairability? Now, obviously, it entails if you buy this product, how easy is it to be repaired if there's a problem later on, right? And Apple has been pegging that they want to be perceived as an environmentally friendly company, but they keep on asking their consumers to replace their products every year. And what do they do with their old phones? Throw it away, right? That's not environmentally friendly. If you want to be environmentally friendly, you want to extend the lifespan of each of the products that you're using. Let's say instead of just 1 year, maybe 2 years, or even 3 years, or even more, as long as you can fix it. But obviously, Apple is against that, right? To generate more revenue, they want you to replace your old phone. And not only that, even if you wanted to fix your phone, right? You cannot simply ask a third party to repair it because they don't. Apple is suing that, especially if you're in the United States, and then they don't have the parts to be able to do that, which will be shown here in the report here. Anyway, so the goal of the new law is designed to reduce waste, which is my main point, as mentioned here. So for its online stores in France, they have to comply, which is they have to show how the device, how easily can the device be disassembled, and the availability of repair manuals and spare parts. Now, if you're familiar with Jerry Rick's Everything, a YouTube channel, where he tries to open up the internal contents of a device, in this case, whether it's a iPhone or Samsung devices, and you can see how easy it can be pried open, repaired, or is it too difficult unless you're a trained technician at that. So there was a report here. Now it's in French, but I had to find a dialogue here. But anyway, so let me show you first here. What do I mean? So here in their page, so you can see their product info, the description of the iPhone 12 Pro. But here at the bottom, you can see here, there is the indication of their repairability. So guess what you notice here? The repairability is not that high. It's only 6 out of 10. Now, why is it 6 out of 10? Let's take a closer look here. So there you go. So please bear in mind, this is in French. So I had to jot down the notes what it meant. I had to use Google Translate to be able to translate the text here. So for the heading here, it says Apple displays repairability index for both the iPhone and Mac laptops, I'm assuming. So here below, we have here a report. So we don't need that. So you can see here. So for the MacBook Air, you can see the repairability is only 6 out of 10. Then you have the MacBook Pro. It's even worse, 5 out of 10. Okay, anyway, here's the part I want to focus on. So here we have the summary here, the report here. Now, obviously, it's in, what do you call this? It's in French. So anyway, so the first column pertains to the criteria. So first is documentation. The second is dismountability, access, tools, and bindings. Then criteria 3 is availability to detach the pieces. And 4 is price of detached pieces. Okay? And finally, criteria specific. Now, if you notice here, the criteria 2 and criteria 3 has some of the worst reviews, with the exception of criteria 5, which they have a glowing mark there. So what is this? So if you look at criteria 2 for dismountability, 2.2 indicates what's that? Tools required to be able to fix the device. So obviously, will it need a Phillips screwdriver or flat screwdriver and so forth? No, they use a very different, I think, hex tool. I'm not sure what you call it. So obviously, they use a different screw so that it's not easy for people to open it or fix it if you're a technician here. That's why they got a low score. And not only that, you have 2.1, it's ease of dismantling part. And guess what? It's not so easy. So whether it's intentional, well, obviously it's intentional. They discourage people from opening it, right? So that if it's broken, you have to replace it with a brand new phone or device. Here for criteria, as I mentioned, the availability of the detached pieces. So let's take a look here at 3.2. So you can see here the period of availability of parts. Guess what? Since they don't want to encourage you to repair it, they're not making it available for the parts if in case you need to repair it. And for 3.3, not 3.3, yeah, 3.4, sorry, the details, the delivery time of parts. Obviously, if it's not available, it's going to take time. If you're a customer waiting, that's why it's very low. That's why you notice both of those key categories has a very low mark there. Now, with the exception of criteria 5, on the other hand, in terms of information of nature for updates, they got a score of 10. Same goes for remote assistance, which is good. We want assistance from those manufacturers. And finally, possibility of software reset, which is very easy to do. Now, obviously, does it encourage consumers to buy their products? I guess. Now, it depends, right? For everyday consumers, if you can afford it, you throw away your devices, who cares, right? But for the majority who are, environmentally conscious, it's a big deal, right? So it's not as easy as, what Apple is set out to promote. And at the end of the day, as mentioned here, the law is obviously in favor to help consumers and in favor for the repair rules to help fix your phones. Now, obviously, Apple could do that. Obviously, they have a different agenda. They want you to buy new phones rather than fix it. So if you want to get it fixed somewhere else, but they don't have the parts, so it doesn't make sense. So what do you do? So obviously, as a consumer, you have the right to be able to get the services that you need. If you want to replace it, then so be it. But if you want to get it fixed, you should also have the right to be able to do that. Hopefully, that rules or law can be applied also in other regions, hopefully in our country as well, so that Apple is on notice that, as much as they want to control the logistics of their manufacturing to the end cycle of a product, but once the consumer has already bought the product, it's the right of the customers to do whatever they want, right? Whether they want to put a different skin on it, put different applications inside the device. Obviously, Apple has already reaped millions and billions of dollars out of it. So controlling how the consumers use the device seems a little bit unfair in a sense.